Hello everyone. Today I'm going to go through my long form video on getting into scale trucks or crawling. This may be a little bit long-winded, I'll warn you beforehand, but I'm going to try to go through a subsection of all this into what I like to call getting your feet wet. To preface this video, we need to set a few key points. One, we need to figure out what our end goal is. Do you want to comp crawl? Do you want to trail? Do you want to go down the scale rabbit hole? Or do you want to just go out and have fun? This last point is what I'm going to try to cover in this video. Number 2, you need to do research. This video will only partially help you. I'm going to try to keep it as short and concise as I can, but research is key. Even on axial vehicles that come out, I will do research on them, even though they're a tried and true multitude of parts available company. I will still do research on any vehicle I try to buy. It is a very good point to put your nose to the ground and try to figure out what's going on with this truck that you're looking after. Number 3 is parts availability. Are there parts available to fix your truck if it happens to break? Some of these Banggood trucks that I will go over might not have as parts available as a hobby shop ready vehicle, but if you're a patient person, you can get parts available for some vehicles. Some vehicles you may not find parts for them ever, and those are the ones you need to stray away from. I can lead into an example right now. This is an HB Toys or something. I only picked it up for 2 reasons. One is the body. This is pretty slick looking. It has wires hanging off because it's currently getting reworked. Don't mind that. But second reason was it was $100. $100 with a battery, charger, remote, ready to go out of the box. This thing didn't even have a proper ESC. This thing had some type of control board that was ESC and receiver all packaged into one. I ripped that out. I'm going to put a proper 1060 in it. It has a 540 can, I think, proper brush motor, and put a better servo on this. And this would be perfect for if someone that comes to visit and wants to crawl with me in the backyard, I'm going to hand them this. Most of these will be included in the Banggood section, but there are some deals there. There are some gems in the rough. I'd like to do this because we have so much, we're spoiled for choice within this hobby. I did a small list. I'll be referring to my phone every once in a while just to go through my list. There's 45 to 50 trucks out there, and about 10 of them have 5 different variants on that platform. So I feel for you if you feel a little confused going through some of these sites looking for a truck and can't land on one. I mean, just to go through, we have Traxxas, Axial, I mean Element just got into it. Gmail. Yeah. We got Red Cat too. A lot of people don't like throwing around the R word, but quite honestly, there's a lot worse than you can do than Red Cat. Let's jump right into it. We have WL Toys. I mean, toys is in the name. I can see why some people would kind of push that off to the side, but they do make a clone, but it's of a very good vehicle. There's the 12 428 and the 10 428. The 12 428 is a 12 scale of the Twin Hammers, and it is around $100 at the time of this video, and quite honestly, I think it's the perfect point to dip your toes into the water, get your feet wet. Yes, there are some drawbacks to that vehicle in particular. The 12 has plastic gears in it, but there are places you can find upgrades for it. With the WL Toys 10 428, it is a full-size clone of the Twin Hammers. With parts availability, I'd say about 80% of the parts you buy will fit the truck. It does have metal gears in the axles. The transmission's plastic geared. I know that because I've gone through them. I did own one before, and it was a great truck. It was awesome. It just didn't feel in the wheelhouse that my type of driving does, but it was a great truck. I honestly plan on buying another one, but the one I have tore down into another project you'll be seeing possibly very soon. Now, with some of these that I've mentioned, there are things to look out for, like WL Toys, for example. They have a Jeep, great looking body on it, but if you look underneath it, it has integrated motor on axle like you would find in a big box store toy. Doesn't seem like it would do very well. Another brand you can go after off of Banggood that I highly recommend is RGT. They have the EX 86100, the newly released 86010 I would like to get sometime soon, the 86110, and I believe they have the 136-100, which is a 1/12 scale. It is these are quite good vehicles. Some may hit, some may miss. I haven't had the 1/12, but from what I understand, it is a rebadge or a clone of the ECX Barrage. RGT, FTX, ECX, all those semi-share all the same platform. Of the vehicles I'd pick out of them would of course be the 86110. Love this truck to death. You can't go wrong with an 86100. Yes, I've broken mine. Things break. That's a fact of life. These trucks are going to break. But I put the breakage down to my own fault. I'll admit it. The 86010 seems like a shorter wheelbase of the 110. So it has potential. As far as parts availability, they can be found. I actually found a website, Nitro RCX. They carry a clone of the 86 110 and have parts of it readily available on their site, and I believe they are a US warehouse, so it may not take a month to get parts. The next Banggood vehicle I'd like to recommend is the Remo Hobbies 1093. There are two variants. One looks like a Honcho clone, and the next is a Jeep. These seem to be clones of a SCX 10-1, which seems good for parts availability. I've also wanted to get one of these just to test them out, see how they are, show them the ropes, see how they go. But also, I'm curious to see how far with 10-1 parts can you go with it. I think you've seen the Remo Hobby on other channels. It seems to hold up well, and that shows me that I'd like to get one too, to put it through its paces. Other honorable mentions from Banggood are WPLs. I'm not 100% sold on them, but I hear that they're bringing up their line. They have metal axles, metal upgrades, and that may be good for some people. They're around 50 to 70 bucks, I think, which is great, getting your feet wet money. There is, I think it's MN90, has little Defender crawlers. I don't believe those are great deals. They're like $70, but they don't look like they have the stuff in them to be good and reliable crawlers. Also, within the honorable mentions is the 3 Racing EX Reel. I've heard here or there people getting deals on these and building them up into decent crawlers. I don't have first-hand experience, so I can't highly recommend them, but they seem like they're worth a chance. Now I'm going to go over what you can find possibly in your local hobby shop. You could look after an ECX. ECX has a couple of crawlers. There is their 1/24ths. They are hit or miss from what I understand, but they're within looking into if you are into that scale or just have limited space that you can crawl in. They have the Temper, which for getting into, I highly recommend. That's how I got into it. They have their pitfalls, yes, but they can be worked around. They also have the 1/12th Barrage. Quite a good vehicle. I've owned one or two of them in the past. Very good platforms for getting your feet wet, getting into the hobby. They can be found for affordable prices. And if you look on the used market, they can be found even cheaper. Great little trail trucks. Can't say enough good things about the beginner getting into the hobby, going into their hobby shop and getting an ECX, Temper, Barrage, or even if you're into that, the 1/24th scale trucks that they have. When we come to Red Cat. Red Cat has a multitude of crawlers. The Danchi Ridge Rock, the Everest 10, the Gen 7 Sport and Pro, and if you can find them used, maybe even a Gen 8. And I haven't personally owned a Red Cat. I've owned crossover vehicles from them. The ECX Temper that I previously mentioned is a crossover vehicle from something they used to sell, which is the Everest 16. I wish they still sold the Everest 16. I would gladly pick one of those up and run it side by side with my Gen 2 Temper and see how they go. I think that would be a fun video. The Everest 10 is a tried and true crawler. So many people get their feet wet with the Everest 10. It is a great truck. It's built quite well out of the box. You even have options of four-wheel steering right out of the box, I believe. Priced really, really well. I believe you can, it's like $135, $140. And also part support. The thing people like to leave out when they bash Red Cat is parts availability and support. I've gotten things faster from Red Cat than I have from Amazon sometimes. Their part support and customer support are great. And even when you go into the Gen 7, if you pick up a Gen 7 for $199 and a week later want to get the Pro parts for your Sport, you can do that. And it'll take not very much for it to get to you. It is not that bad as people make it out to be with Red Cat. And with the Gen 8, I've seen it do quite a bit too. And if you can find one used, I believe that's quite a good vehicle to go for. Oh, and also, I almost forgot, there's Tamiya. They have the CC01 platform. There are many different vehicles or body styles on that platform, and they're great little trucks. I mean, Tamiya's been around forever. I mean, I'm 30, born in '89, and Tamiya was probably around then. So that means part support would be crazy good for that truck. And as well, they're not super capable, but they would be a fun trail truck. I personally probably can't call myself an RC fanatic because I haven't had a Tamiya, but I would like to get one day. They seem like they'd be a lot of fun. I don't know about the build part, but yeah, they seem like they'd be a lot of fun. I hope everyone found this informative, enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe, and share. I hope everyone's still out there doing safe, staying sane, keeping their wits about them, and still trying to enjoy the hobby while they're at it. Thanks so much for watching.